Have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt completely invisible? Maybe it was your first day at college, or a work meeting where everyone else seemed to know each other, or a party where you stood near the snacks for 20 minutes pretending to check your phone, hoping someone would just come talk to you. Yeah, most of us have been there. Now here's a different question. Have you ever met someone, maybe at a chai tapri, maybe at a bus stop, who just had this energy? They walked in, smiled at a stranger, said something simple, and within minutes, everyone was laughing and talking like old friends. What did they have that you didn't? The answer, my friend, is not luck. It is not some gift you're born with. It is a skill, and skills can be learned. Welcome to the audiobook summary of How to Talk to Anyone by Vincent McDaniel. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the most powerful communication techniques from this book in plain, simple language that you can use today with real people in real situations. Let's get into it. Why communication changes everything. Here's something most people don't realize. Studies show that 85% of your success in life, your job, your relationships, your happiness, comes down to your social and communication skills. Only 15% is technical knowledge. Think about that. You could be brilliant at maths, coding, law, medicine, but if you can't connect with people, opportunities will quietly pass you by. We live in a world where people do business with people they like. They promote people they trust. They open doors for people who make them feel good. And the beautiful truth? Every one of these skills is learnable. So let's start learning. The first impression formula. You have roughly 7 seconds to make a first impression. That's it, 7 seconds. And in those 7 seconds, the other person's brain has already decided whether you're someone they want to know. So what are they actually judging? Your appearance? A little. Your words? Very little. Mostly, your energy, your posture, the way you enter a space. Here's a simple example. Imagine 2 people walk into a job interview. Person A shuffles in, shoulders hunched, eyes darting around nervously. They sit down and immediately say, "Sorry, I'm a little late. The traffic was just, yeah." Person B walks in with their head up, makes eye contact with the interviewer, smiles, a real smile, and says, "Good morning. What a great office." Same qualifications, same resume, completely different energy. Person B gets the call back, almost every time. Here's something fascinating. There are 2 kinds of smiles. The fake smile, the one we put on for photos or awkward situations, only involves the muscles around the mouth. It looks polite, forgettable. But the real smile, what scientists call the Duchenne smile, also reaches the eyes. The corners crinkle slightly. It looks warm, genuine, trustworthy. And here's the thing. People can feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. So how do you smile more genuinely? Simple. Before you meet someone, think of something that actually makes you happy. Your dog, your favorite meal, a funny memory. That thought lights up your face in a way no say cheese ever will. Eye contact might be the single most powerful nonverbal tool you have, and most people either use too little of it, looking away constantly, seeming uninterested, or too much, which can feel intense and uncomfortable. The sweet spot? Around 60 to 70% of the time during a conversation. Here's a trick from the book. When you meet someone new, make a point of noticing their eye color, not in a creepy way, just as a mental task. This naturally makes your eye contact the perfect length, warm and direct, without being a stare. Next time you meet someone, try it. Look at their eyes and quietly ask yourself, what color are they? Brown, hazel, dark? You'll hold their gaze just long enough to feel connected. How to start any conversation. Now, here's where most people freeze. The opening, that terrifying moment when you want to talk to someone but your brain goes completely blank. But here's the secret. You do not need a brilliant opening line. You just need an easy, low-pressure conversation starter. The book suggests using what it calls FORD. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. These 4 topics are almost universally relatable and give the other person easy ways to open up. Imagine you're at a cousin's wedding and you don't know anyone at your table. Instead of sitting in silence, you turn to the person next to you and say, "So, how do you know the family? Are you from the groom's side?" That's it. One easy question. And now you're talking. People love talking about themselves. You just have to give them the door. Next lesson is making people feel important. Here is perhaps the most important lesson in the entire book, and it's deceptively simple. People do not remember exactly what you said, they remember how you made them feel. There's a concept the author calls name magic, simply using someone's name in conversation, not repeatedly and awkwardly, but naturally, makes them feel seen, recognized, valued. That's a great point, Priya. I was just thinking the same thing, Rahul. Small, yes. Powerful, incredibly. Beyond names, it's also about giving genuine compliments. Not flattery, not the fake, "oh, you're so amazing" kind, but specific, sincere observations. Instead of "nice presentation," try, "the way you explain that data with that analogy in the middle, that was really clever." Specificity is what makes a compliment feel real, and real compliments stay with people for days. The art of actually listening. Most people, when they're listening, are not actually listening. They're waiting for their turn to speak, planning what they'll say next, half present. The book calls this listening to respond versus listening to understand. And great communicators, the ones people call magnetic, always do the second one. Here's what real listening looks like. You lean in slightly, you nod, you ask follow-up questions that show you actually processed what they said. Someone says, "I just started learning guitar." Bad response, "Oh, cool, I used to play. Anyway, I've been super busy lately." Great response, "Really? What made you decide to pick it up now?" You see the difference? The first response is about you. The second response is about them. And people are drawn, deeply magnetically drawn to people who are genuinely interested in them. Words are only 7% of communication. That's the famous statistic. Your tone of voice carries 38% and your body language 55%. So while you're carefully choosing your words, your body is having an entirely different conversation. Here are the big ones. Open posture, arms uncrossed, body facing toward the person, signals warmth and trust. Closed posture, arms folded, body turned away, signals you'd rather be elsewhere. Mirroring, subtly matching the other person's posture, pace, and energy, creates instant subconscious rapport. When someone leans forward, you lean forward. When they speak softly, you soften. This is not manipulation, it's attunement. And nodding, a slow, genuine nod while someone speaks, communicates something precious. "I hear you. I understand. Keep going." Confidence. Build it. Don't fake it. Let's talk about confidence, and let's be very clear about one thing. Real confidence is not arrogance, it's not performing. It's a quiet, steady belief that you belong, that you have value, that you are worth knowing. And here's the thing about confidence that most people don't realize. The body changes the mind. Harvard research has shown that standing in a confident posture, shoulders back, head up, space taken, for just 2 minutes actually changes your hormone levels. Cortisol, the stress hormone, goes down. Testosterone, the confidence hormone, goes up. Your body is not just expressing your confidence, it is creating it. So before that big conversation, that presentation, that date, find a private spot. Stand tall, take up space, breathe slowly, and walk in ready. The art of telling stories. Information informs, but stories move people. Think about the last time someone really held your attention. Chances are they weren't reciting facts, they were telling a story. And our brains, wired over thousands of years around campfires, are built to absorb stories. The book shares a simple framework for compelling mini stories. 3 elements: setup, struggle, and resolution. So I went to this restaurant last week, setup, and I completely mispronounced the dish I ordered in front of everyone, struggle, and the waiter just gently corrected me and brought out something even better, best accidental meal of my life, resolution. See how quickly that became interesting? Even a tiny, ordinary story works when it has these 3 beats. You become the person people want to sit next to at dinner. The dreaded silence. The conversation stalls. Nobody says anything, and suddenly it feels like the most uncomfortable moment in human history. Here's something most people don't realize. Silences are not failures. They are natural parts of conversation. The problem is that we panic, say something random, and make things more awkward. Instead, the book recommends something counterintuitive. Lean into the pause. Own it. You can even name it with humor. We both ran out of things to say at the exact same time. Instantly, the awkwardness dissolves. Why? Because you acknowledged it, shared it, made it human. Or use a topic bridge. Pick up on something said earlier in the conversation. Oh, you mentioned earlier that you recently moved. How are you settling in? And next lesson is remembering names, the secret glue. Have you ever bumped into someone you met before and they remembered your name and you couldn't remember theirs? That feeling, the slight twinge of guilt, the way they rose a few inches